So for anyone over the age of 40, well, even over the age of 30, you've probably noticed by now that the body doesn't play ball as much as what it once did. You're probably finding the fact that your joints ache a lot more, your energy is pretty bad, you don't sleep as well, you're not strong, your recovery seems to be in the gutter, you get sick all the time. You can probably count on both hands how many times you've almost shit yourself. There's so many different changes that happens when over age 30, and this can be due to multiple reasons. Obviously, life changes as you grow older, responsibilities increase when kids come into the scene. I remember before I hit the age of 30, when I had my first kid, the training sort of took a very different turn and you had to approach it very differently. And now, at the point of 3 children, essentially working what is 3 jobs, and obviously tearing down the house and everything, your schedule is fucked. And at some point you look at things and go, where exactly do I fit in time for training? And if I do have time to train, be it 3 times a week, if it's late at night when the kids go to bed, what exactly should be the approach, or what's the most efficient approach? And this is a very common question, and I work with clients like this all the time. So we're gonna go through this today. Let's get straight into it. Now, this is obviously strictly for people that want to build muscle. Now, obviously, if you're someone that just wants to lose weight and do a bit of cardio is easy, right? You can do that outside, and I don't think you would need essentially a program for cardio, so to speak. However, if you're someone that wants to improve the physique, a man, and it's very important for men over the age of 30s and 40s to have that kind of want, right? Because sometimes when you have that midlife crisis, or you just start to look yourself in the mirror, you realize that you're not the man you once were. It's important to regain that, right? And especially as your testosterone drops per percentile every year after the age of 30, it's important to regain that self. So there is 3 options you can do in the gym, okay? So obviously in terms of program splits, you've probably heard it all the time. You have bro split, which is days where you'd have a chest day and a bicep day and a back day and a leg day and everything. And then you have other programs where you have it's upper lower. So you have a day for just the upper body, pull, push, everything, shoulders, arms. Then you have another day for like just the legs. Then you take a few days break and then you do it again. And then you have a full body. A full body is covering everything off. And you maybe do that 3 times a week or 2, depending on what your schedule is. So let's run by them first. Obviously you have all different, this high rocks and all that now, CrossFit programs, everything. But let's talk about if you're solo in the gym wanting to build muscle. Okay. First of all, you're going to have to look at your schedule. I don't know your schedule, but you're going to need to suss that out quickly, right? When can you train? What time can you train every day? Is it consistent, or do you have to manipulate it and change it, right? So I would say if you're someone that only literally has 3 times a week realistically that they can train for about an hour and a half each, I would recommend a full body approach to that, because in a full body approach, you're going to stimulate the body 3 times per week. So that's 3 opportunities of growth you're getting per week. If you do a bro split, you only really stimulate the body once a week. If you do an upper lower, maybe you could squeeze in 2. That's not bad as well. Now, full body is a very demanding program, of course. There's no fun days. You don't have a fun arm day, that kind of thing. And it does require a sufficient amount of time. It can require about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But if you take the approach of low volume, so you focus on getting strong every week. So let's say your working sets are ranging between 6 to 10 reps for your working sets. That's your failure set. Write that down. Once the job's done, you go on to the next exercise. Next week, you try to improve that by either an extra kilo onto the bar or the exercise, or an extra rep. That would be the most basic way to approach things. That's for full body. Now, for the likes of a bro split, I would say if you're someone that, was going to maybe the gym before, work in the mornings and stuff, and do have like 5-6 times a week, and maybe you want to train 5-6 times a week, something like an upper lower or a bro split can be very effective. I mean, everything you do is effective, and it's this kind of thing online now, this shit where people just got it in their brains where there's one holding, secret kind of golden egg, smoking gun that's going to be the thing that's going to change your physique. And in reality, everything is applicable. It's just some tend to be more efficient than others, depending on someone's genetics, time, everything like that. And then obviously not getting the nutrition. Nutrition is another important aspect, but obviously we're just focusing on training today. So in short, I would say if you're a man over the age of 30s and 40s, first of all, you want to approach everything. I don't care if it's a bro split or it's full body, whatever else. Low volume is going to be your best friend, because low volume will increase your recovery capability. So you'll be able to recover a lot easier from it. Obviously, over the age of 30, your recovery is down, so something that you recover from is a lot easier. The higher the volume goes, the more recovery demands. Now, the only thing is the heavier will be a lot harder on the joints. So you might need to manage that around, but you're your own social experiment, right? You're your own social freak. So, scientific freak. So you're running this experiment on yourself, right? So you're just gonna have to closely track that or get a coach. Also, on top of that, because obviously the joints get hit harder, maybe adding in some extra supplements like a fish oil supplement and stuff might help that, but just be cautious of that. But in short, if you're a man over the age of 30s or 40s, I would approach any kind of training you do with that kind of like goal to get stronger, low volume. And the more frequently you can train while the recovery is quite high, the faster and more efficiently you'll grow. If you're someone that gets a kick out of that kind of bro split where you can train 5 days a week and you enjoy training like that, knock yourself out. I would still approach that with lowest volume because there's going to be more days in that week, right? So recovery is so important. And when you go home with the kids and the wife and everything, you want to be operating your high game. You don't want this to ruin your outside life. You want this to supplement your life, right? What I would say for a man over the age of 30s or 40s is to get into training. If you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. I've got tons of other videos on the channel about nutrition and training for natural bodybuilding and natural trainers. Over there, you can check them out. But until the next time, I'm Colin from the Oaks Den. I'll catch you then.